Sorry, go ahead and unmute, Jane.
This is my first time doing this. I'm just kidding. Welcome, you guys. This is our Monday Night MultiNations call. I'm super excited. We have a guest speaker tonight who has turned into a fabulous friend, MVP Leah McMorrow. She's a wife, mom, a former teacher and learning consultant, and she hails from New Jersey. So she's a Jersey girl. Leah has been with Arbonne for 14 and a half years, and that's what I love. I think about almost every one of us who's on here has quite the longevity with Arbonne. We're painting that vision for you of like, this is what it looks like when you stay the course and you persevere through highs, lows, and everything in between. Leah has earned multiple incentive trips over the years. She's trained on stage at home office events and GTC, the Impact Tour, and then I was going to surprise everyone with her amazing skill at golf.
Oh, I don't
Um,
know.
I love it. And I also want to point out that this is the community of Arbonne, is that we really became closer, I feel like, when I announced that my daughter was going to Northeastern. And immediately Leah pops in and is like, my niece goes there, and my niece is the coolest person on the planet. And we connected them, and, they hit it off. And honestly, like, it was really great because she helped her prepare for that and they became good friends immediately. It was, again, because obviously, if Leah's awesome, her niece would be awesome. And that's what's really cool about our community. It's not just building this business, it's the people in it are high quality and they're going to connect you with high quality people. And it made it so much better for me to send my daughter 3,000 miles away out to Boston. I'm going to be there. I'm leaving this week to go visit her. And I just think it's really cool that we have a community that cares enough to reach out. And then we started talking more. Other things about Leah and I that we have in common is we like to talk. No, I'm kidding. Um,
Those
Jeff,
voice memos.
yeah, and we love to read books. So we're bookworms. I'm going to kick it off to her. I'm really excited. She shows up on social media so consistently and as a normal person. But I admire the consistency. You're always in activity. You're always launching people, introducing people. I see promotions happening all the time, and I just can't wait for our teams to learn. So I'm handing it off to you, Leah.
Oh, thank you. How do I follow that introduction? I appreciate it. I'm so glad to be with you guys, and I'm so happy I get to be with so many of my Arbonne friends that I've met and worked with over the years, and we've done nutrition groups together and so many things. And it really is, this community is truly the best in so many ways. And I love that we get to come together at GTC and we get to come together on incentive trips and things like that. So I am really honored to be here tonight. Something's going on with my voice. It's like fall allergies here because all the leaves are coming down. But I am so honored to be here. And I feel like it's such great timing because it really is like the final quarter of the year, which is crazy. I feel like it was just January or February of last year, but it is the final quarter of the year and it's my favorite time of the year in Arbonne. And it's not because of the specials or the new products or the limited edition items that are always so much fun, but I feel like this is really always like the runway to soaring in your business. It's the time of year when you can really capitalize on these 3 months and catapult your business into the next year with massive momentum, massive growth, and create the business that you want. And, no matter what level we're at, no matter what our organization looks like, no matter how long we've been in Arbonne, no matter what letters go with our name, we're always growing and we're always looking to help more people, right? Whether it's clients, whether it's teammates. And so I just love that we have the ability to take this into our hands at any time and do just that and build our business to the next level, whatever that is, right? That doesn't always mean a title. It just means to the next level of where we are at. So while you can do that any time of the year, I truly feel like this quarter is the time that if you are in business right now, which obviously you are because you're on this call, you can really lock in and commit and run and take advantage of everything Arbonne has to offer in these incredible months. And as we know, Arbonne always gives us all that they've got when it comes to products and promotions and incentives. But it's really up to us to do the work to maximize what they put together for us. They could give us all the limited edition flavors and power to DM and free PC sign ons and incentive trips. But if we, as the consultants, are not in activity, it doesn't really matter what they give us. So I want you to think about just what's possible in these next 3 months and what you can do starting right now to utilize them. And I'm sure, I don't know, what are we on the 20th of the month? Like, obviously, you've been doing that for 20 days this month, but really just taking the next 2 weeks, because there really are 2 weeks left in the month, and running with that. And just know that whatever your goal, wherever you are right now, you can finish this year. You could be a consultant or a DM. You have the ability to finish this year as an area, as a VP, and really create such an incredible business that just catapults you right into the new year. And no matter what the title is, it's about building and growing. And so much can happen in just a couple of months. I have an area manager on my team who in August was really frustrated and was really just struggling with feeling like she was just working so much and wasn't getting the results, and people weren't staying. And, you guys, we all go through seasons of that, of, just not being where we thought we would be, or where it was going to be, or who was going to do what they said they were going to do, or whatever. And we had a conversation. She was really frustrated. We had this conversation and she just like vented it all out. She's been with me in my business for now 13 years. And the next morning she texted me and she's like, I got it out. She's like, and now I'm just going to get my stuff together and I'm just going to do this. And when I tell you that she enrolled 3 new teammates in a matter of a couple of days, she has a new district manager, three people, I think, in district qual. Yeah, like finishing district this month. And her new district is about to go area qual. And she's like, I'm just in a different vibe. Like she goes, I'm just like, I didn't finish the month and feel exhausted and like I was pushing and like I was forcing things to happen. She's like, I just feel excited again. And the reality is, and I could give you like the whole backstory, it's not that, but the reality is she literally just said, I'm going back to basics. I'm going back to launching people in person, focusing on getting people in front of 40 people a month, keeping it simple, not focusing on social media with them, not doing this. And she just truly went back to basics. And so I'm going to tell you one of the things she's doing that's been like a game changer. So I will share that with you and I'm going to come back to that. But I'm sharing that because we all have moments like that. And what I've found, even in my own business, is when I have a moment of frustration where I'm like, that person just signed on and now they're not launching and now they're not doing it. They're not coachable. Like it's not happening, whatever. And I'm hitting that moment of just like, when I change my mindset, when I like get it out and then just go, okay, when you push through that, what comes on the other side of that is always better and it's always bigger. And it's like there's a wall and it's a test going, are you going to push through the wall? Are you going to just get past this? Or are you going to let this take you out? Are you going to let this really get into your head? And I felt like that's what she did. Like she just crashed through that wall, but we all go through that. And the change that I've seen in her leadership, the way that she's coaching, but it's all stuff that was already there. It was all stuff she already knew how to do. So my point is any day can kind of be day one of the next chapter of your business. And in a matter of days, weeks, and a month, things can change. So when we say to you, and I'm sure your incredible leaders here are saying the same thing, when we say you can finish this year as A, we mean it because it can happen. So think about this. How much would your life change in the next 3 months if you were making that, whatever, 3,000, 5,000, 6,000, whatever that goal is for you, what that really life-changing money. And really when I started, life-changing was $800 a month because that was extra coming in on top of my full-time job, right? But I want you to picture October as a runway. Think of a huge jet plane, like one of those, I don't know, 787s or 77, whatever they are, 777s, whatever, the big ones. It needs a long runway. It needs a wide open runway to hit the gas full throttle and commit to the speed and the momentum to build enough momentum to get off the ground and soar through the sky. October and these next couple of months is that runway for our businesses. It's long, it's wide open. And when you fill it with activity, commit to building your business and really hit the gas, you'll build momentum to get your business soaring in the next few months and into the next year. if you start rolling down the runway and you hit the brakes or you're at half speed or you turn around or you start again, it's going to take you longer to get that momentum going. So, which do you think is better for your business, right? Full throttle, full commitment, momentum, or brakes on off, stop go, stop go. It's like the popcorn in the microwave or the popcorn on the oven on the stove, right? It's you've got to keep that going. But full throttle doesn't mean full time. Full throttle doesn't mean 100% of your day. It means a commitment to your business, booking activity, getting in front of 40 new people a month, and sharing consistently daily, not constantly. And also what full throttle looks like for me or Jane or Danielle or Sabrina or Jacqueline or whoever could be totally different than the other person. Not everybody's full throttle is going to look the same, but that commitment and discipline and daily do is that simple. It is the same. So it's having that decided heart, knowing where you're going, committing to the process, and doing it regardless of the results you see right away. All we can do is do the asking, do the inviting, do the sharing. What someone else does with it is up to them. So we kind of have to detach from the results and just commit to the actual doing and let the results come from that. But if you're not doing the asking, like you're just did you just say that? I just said, oh, look, Jane, yeah, if you don't do the asking, you're making the decision for them to not do it. But if you ask, it could be a yes, it could be a no, it could be a maybe, it could be a no response. It happens, right? But that's really the key is doing it. So you guys have probably heard the bamboo tree about the bamboo tree, right? But I'll just repeat it in case you haven't heard it yet. But the bamboo tree, there's some right by my house on the street, the main street I live off of. There's a whole bunch of bamboo growing. And I see it every day. And every time I pass it, I think about this story, which is when someone plants bamboo seeds, they have to water it daily. Even though they're not seeing anything grow, they have to trust the process. They have to do the physical work to nurture it. They have to do it with nothing in return. And do you guys know how long they have to do that before the bamboo grows? And if you know, that's fine. Don't worry. It doesn't have to be a secret. It's 5 years. So how many of you guys would water a plant for 5 years and not see it grow? Which, by the way, if you've ever had orchids, like, and then the flowers fall off, I feel like you have to water them for 5 years before anything happens. But anyway, but the bamboo you have to water for 5 years. Most people wouldn't. In year 5, the bamboo tree grows 80 feet in 6 weeks because in the 5 years it was growing. It was growing really strong roots that couldn't be seen. So in this business, it doesn't take 5 years to get a single sale or a single teammate, but it is a process that you have to trust. It's doing the work, it's getting the no's, it's getting left on red, it's getting yeses, doing events, having things cancel. But think about what your business would look like if you watered it daily for 5 months, let alone 5 years. So, in the next few months, trust the process and know that when you're working daily, you might not see the immediate results, but if you stick with it and stay consistent, you will. And they will likely be bigger than you ever imagined because the consistency is the secret sauce. I always share this story. Well, in the last couple months, I had a friend, one of my really good high school friends, who, when I started my Arbonne business, I talked to her about the business. She lives in North Carolina. She's a teacher and she was having babies at the same time. And I talked to her about the business. She was kind of on board, I thought she was going to sign on, and then she didn't. And about 6 months later, I posted something on Facebook when I was home with Lindsay on maternity leave, essentially forever, but during my technical maternity leave. And I posted something about Arbonne giving me the ability to stay home and be with her and whatever. I got the nastiest, I still have it, message in Facebook Messenger from her, basically saying, like, some of us have to work. And it was just really nasty. Like, it was just like, you're making working moms feel bad. And I was like, no, no, no. My whole point in the post was that, like, I would have been working had I not started this business and I would have been upset to be back at work. But like, this is something that I can help other people do. Anyway, whatever. You guys get the point. Well, when I tell you that we were in group chats together and stuff with our high school friends, but her and I had not communicated for like 13 years. Well, fast forward, we had to go to Boston actually in the spring because one of our friends, her husband passed away, and we go to the funeral and we are staying in the hotel together. And I see her for the first time. And I'm like, I'm going to be normal. This is totally normal. But long story short, guess who's one of my best preferred clients right now for the last 5 months? And the thing is, if I had quit or if I had given up or if I had been nasty back to her, like that might not have been the case. But I was like, it's not my job to like, it's not on me how she reacts to what I'm doing. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, right? And she was so complimentary and so sweet and whatever. And it's just funny, but she's been watching all along, right? So anyway, okay. So let me just see. I have notes and I went through some of them, but now I don't know where I am. So hold on. Okay. So obviously, your activity in the next few months is going to create the results that you want: growth in your clients, team, income, all the things. But you can't just think about the goal. You've got to take activity and action to build it. And one of the biggest things that I think we have to remind ourselves is, if this is my goal, is my daily activity matching that goal? Right? Because you could say all day long, like, I want to be a VP by the end of the year. I want to be a VP by the end of the year. But if you're only sharing Arbonne with 4 people a month or 5 people a month or 10 people a month, like that's not going to match that. You've got to kind of compress what you're doing and really aim to get in front of 40 plus people a month. So it really is setting the goal, but that's the easy part. It's the follow through. It's the daily discipline. It's working the business when you don't feel like it. How many of you guys have ever not felt like working your business, right? Or or if you have like a full-time job outside of Arbonne or a part-time job, like not going to that job. We all feel that way sometimes, but the difference is we do it. I was a teacher. I went to work sick because it was easier to be sick and go into work than to try to write sub plans. And especially for first grade, it was like, it was easier to be there. But the point is, work harder for your own dreams than you do for someone else. And a lot of times we work harder for someone else because they hold us accountable, but we have to hold ourselves accountable to build this business, right? Don't don't let your feelings run your business. Don't run your business on your feelings. So the other thing is, be really bold in your asking. That's something that I always remind myself, like, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to say no, or they're not going to reply. But think of it like going to the gym. And I know, a lot of us, I have to get back to it more, but a lot of us, lift weights and work with weights because, I got to build muscle and keep myself strong. But if I'm at the gym every day and I'm only lifting a 5 pound weight, I'm not going to be a bodybuilder. I'm not going to have bigger muscles. I'm not going to get results. I have to be uncomfortable with the weights I'm lifting. If I'm, Sabrina has done triathlons, like she had to be really uncomfortable swimming and swimming long distances and in open water. I don't know how you do that. And running long distances and biking long distances. She was not comfortable training for a triathlon. You have to be uncomfortable to grow. And so if you're not uncomfortable asking people to take a look at the business or asking people to host for you or asking people to come to something, then you're not being bold enough in your asking. And when people say they run out of people, my thing is like, well, you've run out of people you're comfortable asking. You haven't run out of people to ask. You're just out of people that you're comfortable asking. So think about it every day. Did I get uncomfortable? Did I make a new connection? Did I make a new ask that gets me uncomfortable? Because it's almost required to grow to be uncomfortable. So again, if I want to lift 20-pound weights, I have to I'm going to lift smaller weights to get there, but I've got to keep going. I can't just keep lifting 5-pound weights to be able to lift a 20-pound weight. So do what's uncomfortable to make it comfortable until it's not again. So don't worry about other people. Keep challenging yourself. So let's talk activity really quick. I want to share with you a couple things. Let me just see, because I wrote a couple notes. I have notes everywhere, you guys. I'm like all over the place. Let's talk activity because this is really what's key. It's doing the simplest things that grow you the most and grow your business the most. It's not the most complicated things. It's actually the simplest things. And the simplest things are what duplicate. The business is not easy, but it is simple. And if I can do something simply and teach Jacqueline and Sabrina and Bree and Jane and Amanda and everybody else something to do simply, then they can teach other people to do it simply. So this is actually what I just talked about at 8 o'clock on our training call, is duplication. But systems and simplicity create duplication. So we can teach people how to do an event. We can teach people how to present the business, share the products, do a one-on-one. We can teach someone how to have someone host for them. And that's really where the power of this business lies. My direct upline is ENVP Debbie Neal, and she was just at a big network marketing training Bulgaria. And one of the things that they talked about is that the future of network marketing is really the past of network marketing. The future in this business is really what we've always done. And that's the in person, the belly to belly. We have so many tools like Zoom and text events and, FaceTime and whatever. We have so many ways to connect with people and social media, obviously, but truly doing the simplicity of the community building, of being in person with people, of building that trust person to person is really where we're seeing the growth. And that's been a big part of the growth on our team in the last few months and in the last year, even is really focusing on it being a person to person business. We, of course, use social media and use Zoom and use FaceTime, but we network, we meet people, we make connections, and there's lots of ways to do that. And again, it's focusing on getting in front of the 40 people a month. So we've been doing a lot of in-person events. We're launching in person, which we always did, but we got away from some of that, obviously, and did more virtual. But we are doing in-person launches. We do 2 in-person launches. We also will do a Zoom launch as a backup to that. What we're also doing is, and this is kind of like, it's not new, but it's a new aspect of how we're using it. We are also doing, are you guys familiar with like the practice calls? I think you guys probably have heard of them and learned about them, right? Like they kind of came from Carly Pynchon and some other people. The practice calls we were using, and we were using them for one-on-ones and sharing the business. But what we've actually shifted to doing is, and we've been calling them brand calls, same idea. And I think actually some people spoke about it in Vegas in the VP meeting. But what we've been doing is when we invite people to in-person launches, so let's say Jacqueline just joined and I'm like, all right, Jacqueline, we're launching you. You're going to invite your people. You've got your list, invite your people to your launch. And then she's like, okay, well, I have these people I invited, but they can't make it. She's immediately asking them to hop on a brand call. Now, we are asking some people to host and doing that sometimes in the front end, sometimes in the back end. But what we're doing is asking people to jump on a brand call. And basically what that looks like is Jacqueline, Jacqueline can't come to my launch. So I'm like, Jacqueline, you know what? I don't know if you have a few minutes this week, but I would love to hop on a call with you. Because a lot of times someone will say like, I can't make it to your event, but like send me your link, right? Send me your website, send me your whatever. Like I'll log on and order something. And what we'll say is like, that's amazing. I appreciate your support, but I would love to hop on a call with you for like 10 minutes. Just share a little bit about the brand with you, and then I can help customize a link for what you're looking for. This is exposing them, and it's essentially the practice call like the info, but what it's doing is we're having a conversation with them. And we have a couple different versions of the verbiage, but it could just be, hey Jacqueline, I know you can't make it to my launch. I would love it if you could hop on a quick call with me. I would love to practice sharing Arbonne because I want you to hear about it, but it also helps me as I'm being mentored to grow my business. So there's a couple ways to ask. We're getting on those calls. We're sharing about the company. We're asking them again, have you heard of Arbonne? Have you used Arbonne? We're sharing about the company. We're sharing about general. We're not going into products in detail, but what we're doing is saying, Jacqueline, are you working on any health goals right now? Which is part of that conversation. And then as she says like, oh yeah, actually I'm working on whatever, then we're talking about whatever products kind of tie into that simply, right? So we kind of lay the groundwork with some products, and then we share about the business, and we end with the 1 to 5. Where do you see yourself? 1 to 5. You've heard about that. I know you're interested in some business, or you're interested in some products like the protein. You mentioned the bloating. So we talked about the greens, and 5 being the business. And a lot of times we're going into business conversations with people and they're coming out of it interested in the business, wanting to talk more about the business. But what's happening is at a minimum, people are becoming preferred clients. And what we're seeing is that where someone has maybe 5 people come to an in-person event and 4 or 5, preferred clients come out of it, the other 5, 6, 7 people that get on these brand calls are also becoming preferred clients. And a lot of them are starting with an essentials bundle or the whole derm advanced kit when that was on sale last month and things like that. So it's bridging a gap in the business where if I just kept inviting them to something and they couldn't get there, it's giving me a way to share with them and enroll a new preferred client, maybe have them host for me. And we've had people who've literally ordered, and a week later, they're a consultant because the conversation has continued. So it's really been so helpful. And what's great is it's giving new consultants a really like big confidence in what they're doing because they're getting results right away, and they're enrolling, clients without necessarily having someone come to an event, because you guys know sometimes you do two in-person launches, you're doing a Zoom launch, you're doing other in-person events, you're doing this, and people just aren't getting there. And this has really bridged that gap, which has been so great. And it is really personal. We do it a lot of times on FaceTime. So we have someone like, if Jacqueline was like, oh, Jane couldn't make it to my launch, but she said she'd do a brand call, the Jacqueline would put me, Jane and herself in a three-way chat through text, and then we would FaceTime right in there for 15, 20 minutes. And I'm really not that brilliant, because I will give props. My area manager is the one who kind of started utilizing it in this way, and just sort of taking those practice calls and tweaking them a little bit. And what's fantastic is sometimes you get on these calls. I did one earlier tonight. The woman was like, I have no, like, I definitely don't want to do the business. Like, she was super sweet about it, but she's like, I really like blah, blah, blah. Gave all the reasons. She's like, but my coworker would be great. I'm going to connect you with her, but I do want to order the protein and the fizz. And we were like, awesome. Preferred client came out of it. Referral came out of it. We were on the phone 15 minutes. So it's just such a great way to connect and share and network. And it's just been a really, it's also time leveraging, you guys. Like, it's 15, 20 minutes, sometimes half an hour if it's really a great conversation going, and it's been fantastic. So that's something that has been working really, really well. And it's not anything that different. Right. And from anywhere, we've all been everywhere. I literally did one the other day, like in my car after school drop off as I was driving home, not on FaceTime. But anyway, so one of the things I'll wrap up with, because I know I'm talking for a long time, but one of the things I'll wrap up with is um, this is a quote I saw from Jim Rohn that was so good, and it just made me think of exactly this. And it's basically, success is not magical or mysterious. It's the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. And you guys, that's what we do in Arbonne. When we overcomplicate things, when we try to reinvent the wheel too much, like, you can be creative. You can create your own flyers and your own visuals and whatever. But like, at the end of the day, it's the basics of getting in front of people, sharing the business, sharing the products, and teaching other people to do the same thing. And that duplicates, and just filling your funnel with new people, making new connections, and just really keeping it simple, because our job is just to plant the seeds every day. And our job is just to share with people. And anything we do that's worthwhile takes discipline, and it takes work, and it takes time. And you are surrounded by so much evidence of what's possible in the leaders on this call, and in your uplines and sidelines and across the company, and all the people in this company. And it's really just about growing ourselves and pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, because once we do that, we prove that we can do it. We prove it to ourselves. We show it to our team. And, when I saw people starting and growing to area and region, I was like, oh, well, if they're doing it, I can do it. Right. And so let us all be that evidence in the next few months for our current teams and our future teams, because when we get that energy and that vibe going, it's magnetic, and people see that, and they're attracted to that, and people on our team see it, and they're like, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. So take your goal, have a decided heart, run the race for yourself, show your family, show your team what is possible. And really, you're never going to regret it. And just know that, like, we are all running that same race with you. We're not your uplines, your sidelines, like, you're everybody. We're not telling you to do anything that we're not doing ourselves. So I think that's it. I mean, I have so many different notes, and I think I hit the main points I wanted to hit. I hope that was helpful. But just, use the tools, build the activity, fill your calendars. This is such a huge time of year. It's so much fun, but I love that it's literally just the runway to even bigger and better things for the next few months. So that's it. I'm done. I'll stop talking.
That was so good. Oh my goodness. And I couldn't stop smiling. I was like, to catch myself and I'm like, oh my God, what a goofy grin I have going on right now. Thank you so much. I had so many notes. And then the very last one, like that, I'm like, oh, let us all be that evidence. Like, no, no notes now, you know.
Oh,
Really, I mean, you reminded us of those things and you reminded us of things that we had maybe gotten away from that we used to do and we got away from and got muddied. But when you said, hey, when you see other people doing that, promoting, growing, earning, it tells you you can do it too. And that's up to the consultants to be that evidence. People are going to join when they see the evidence of, you putting in that work. And that's what I admire because I'm always seeing you like putting in the work, not constantly, consistently, putting in the work, showing us how you put the work in, showing us how you build your business. You put the evidence right there on your socials, which really I appreciate. But I also love that I'm seeing you do in person. I'm seeing you show us, how you do Arbonne, and that helps others see how they can do it too. How, it helps people go, well, I don't know what you mean if I would be interested in this business. What does that look like? They're seeing it when you're showing your events and things like that. So
and it's
it's
fun. I
yeah.
feel like, sometimes we lose the fun in things, and really being able to be together is fun. And we've been
Mhm.
doing team events. I'll just mention this really quick. We've been doing team events at different locations. So we do it at a restaurant in one by one of my consultants. And we do different themes a month. And so this month it's a addiction switch, kind of like Halloween theme for healthy, products or clean products. We've done like yoga nights. We've done all these things. Actually, Amanda knows because I sent her the flyers. But it's just fun to be together. And I think people feel that energy in person more so than they can feel it over a Zoom or over things sometimes, again, not all.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's times and places. So, and again, I get asked all the time too by my trainer. He's like, so would you like, and it's like a Zoom type or an AI type or whatever. And I was like, no, I want in person.
Yeah,
Even
I
though
know.
my personality is, I want that connection. And he did say, he said, most people are getting really frustrated, really worried about, hey, is that AI? I don't know what that video is. And he goes, people are going to crave more in person, like in real
Yeah.
person things, the more we shift to AI in other areas, more we crave in person. And when he said that to me today, I was like, that is us.
Hmm.
We crave that in person. We give people that in person experience when they're not getting it anymore because everyone is so busy. They fill their time with other things that stress them out instead of creating community, connecting, and feeling really good and having fun. So you just reminded us of all those things. And you guys, if you don't follow her on Instagram, I think I really enjoy seeing the events you're doing, the networking you do, and the golf and all the things. And so thank you so much for pouring into our teams. I'm so grateful that you
Thank
said yes
you.
and with a full night that you already had. And yeah, thank you. Anything
Thank
else,
you
anybody?
guys.
Otherwise, have a great night and I appreciate
Thank
your time.
you.